This is the Simulation Football League, presented by 8 PM Music on YouTube. We head to Portland, Oregon for this Week 5 clash. The hometown Fleet will be looking to finish this short 2-game homestand with a win, while the visiting Las Vegas Fury attempt to string back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Welcome along to continuing coverage of the SFL and into Evo 9X Stadium. The Portland Fleet love to keep games close. Their last 9 of 11 have been decided by less than 10 points apiece. Meanwhile, it's been the exact opposite for Vegas. 9 of their last 12 have been decided by 10 or more points a game. So reporting for duty as my analyst tonight, it's Cameron Duty. Cameron, what intrigues you about this matchup here tonight?
Hey, Tyler, it is good to be with you. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. No matter where you're watching from, you're guaranteed to get a show right here in Portland tonight. Portland is saying, Tyler, welcome to Las Vegas, because this is the first time that this meeting is actually going to take place on Portland's home turf. So I think that could be something interesting to watch tonight. I have to say, I think turnovers are going to be a big part in this. We know Las Vegas in the past have been turnover heavy, unfortunately, but it looks like so far this year they've started to kind of tighten things up a little bit with only 1 turnover thus far. Can Las Vegas protect the football? I think that's going to be a big key today. And of course, a defense on both sides is going to be very interesting. Who can move the football the best today? Who has an opportunity? Hey, it's anybody's guess. This should be fun, Tyler. I cannot wait.
Portland in their battleship gray uniforms with orange helmets and orange socks. Las Vegas in their white and blacks, as here we go from Portland, Oregon. Here on the return here for Portland is Leo Morris. He does have a kick return touchdown this season. He brings his first return up to the 28-yard line. So that is where we will see the Fleet take over for their first possession, led by Cyrus Jive. He's having a pretty darn good season here in his 3rd season in the SFL. 69% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In total, last season, he had a total of 22 interceptions. He has remained a rather clean and consistent quarterback here in season 21. Let's see what he can muster up here on his first drive. 2 backs in the backfield in an I formation look with 3 wide receivers to begin the game here. Be a pitch play to Ezekiel Love, the bell cow, tailback for Portland, and he will spring feet into the edge. A nice edge-setting block there by the lineman, and it's a 1-play, 11-plus yard scamper for Ezekiel Love.
A 3-time All-Star, and right there you're seeing exactly why we know this guy is on everybody's radar. The question is, how do you stop him? He's always such a threat, and even when you know that they're probably going to start out a drive going right to him, you know, Ezekiel Love is just, he's such a talent in this league, and of course that's going to be a big part of their offense. It's going to be a big part of Las Vegas's game plan to winning here. Can they stop the run? We'll find out.
12-yard pickup there for Love as Jive's going to go back to pass, looking right side. A little bit of miscommunication between Jive and his intended receiver, Israel Adams. And while we have a moment, let's introduce you to the rest of that Fleet offense. Of course, we talk about Jive and Love, the quarterback and halfback. Jacob Farmer is the fullback. Israel Adams leads the wide receiving core alongside Michael Knight, Ryan Davis, and the former Fury, Scott Johnson. Tight end is Nelson Lozano with 4 starting linemen in the trenches: Randy Fatt III, Tyler Spencer, Jaden Taylor, and Jay Warren. Third play of the drive. Jive will look to throw again, looking near side for Adams, and Adams will connect. Gain of maybe 2 as Janos Cyrus, the outside linebacker, takes down Adams, and that will set up 3rd down.
It was a good job by Cyrus right there, just coming in and making a really, really nice tackle. But, you know, it's interesting here. They abandoned the run on those first 2 series of that possession right there, or at least of that after they got the first down off the Love run. So we'll see what they do here. I'm kind of surprised it's got to be a 3rd and long situation here.
First 3rd down of the ball game. Jive, 5-step drop. Rolling, has a great pocket for him. He throws deep in the traffic, and it's off the hands of Michael Knight, the former Sparrow, and that will result in a punt for Portland.
It's fantastic, fantastic pass protection. I mean, that was, you know, he had all day long to look find somebody downfield. Unfortunately, it just wasn't there. To me, it looked like he may have had somebody open there in the flat, but wasn't where he was going with it, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So we'll see what Vegas can do this time.
Punt is away from Portland. Doug Britton looking to make a return and try and switch it back to the middle of the field. Out of a tackle, here comes Britton. Down the near sideline, turns the corner and is taken down at the Las Vegas 42. A pretty special punt return from Doug Britton.
That was really, really nice. And obviously getting to call Doug Britton's name early. We'll call it more when this game goes on, of course. He is always a threat back there, running back those kicks. And again, you know, he's a big guy. But he's also very elusive, kind of hard to bring down, and he just about took that one all the way back to the house. It was getting thin back there, I should say. It's a good thing Portland got him down when they did. They were running out of men to catch him.
That's a nice special teams play from Doug Britton as out trots Eric Price, the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Fury. He's top 10 in completion percentage in QBR. Blitz coming from Portland on play number 1. He hits his target, Mason Kirby, for a 1st down.
It was a great job right there. Just that's something you like to see. Obviously, if you love offensive, you know, a lot of people love the defensive part of football. Now, if you love offense like I do personally, I love watching teams that can come out there and just kind of gunslinging around. That was a nice job. Really good job on the coverage, but, you know, every now and then, you know, they can just kind of overpower there and make a way for themselves to be open, and a great reception.
17-yard snag for Mason Kirby on that one. They'll come out in the same exact formation here as they cross midfield. They'll go up the gut with Hubba Kimbrell as Kimbrell picks up 8 yards as he's brought down by Dale McLean and company as we introduce you to the rest of that Fury offense. Of course, we've mentioned Eric Price, the starting quarterback. Backup quarterback is Switch Thumper. Have yet to see him this season. Hubba Kimbrell is the fullback with Brad Taylor Wright, the fullback. A heavy dose of wide receivers. Doug Britton, Prince Wonder, Jacob Morrison, Alice Itera, Mason Kirby, and Barney Bernard are the wideouts, and we'll tack on the rest here in a second. Nice stiff arm from Kimbrell. He tries to get to the corner near side. He is stopped up maybe half a yard shy. It'll be 3rd and inches as the tight ends for the Fury offense, John Blades and Ron O'MacDonos, round out the playmakers. And on the line, it's Sam Yeager at tackle and Ovayanda at guard. And they'll be called on here in a 3rd and short situation to maybe open a hole for Kimbrell. Gets the call. Trying to go near side. Ran too much east to west, and he gets knocked out of bounds by Chris Stack. They give him all the way back to maybe just a half a yard behind the line, but I think he went backward about 4 yards.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was waiting for a block to develop. Obviously, that play scheme was supposed to have been kicked out around that right side there. He tried going with the flow of the play, but if he'd have just made a quick up and in there, he would have had that 1st down pretty easily. So, missed opportunity there early on for Las Vegas.
Dustin McCrack is the punter for Vegas, and it's going to be a decent one down inside the 5-yard line. Caught on the fly, and Portland will be pinned back deep in their own territory.
Yeah, that was beautiful right there. Hey, if you can't convert for a 1st down, you know, you want a punter who can come in there and just knock one out just like that. And literally, they are backed up against the wall, not where you want to start any drive at, right on your own back door, basically.
From their own 4-yard line, the second drive for Portland offense will begin. Handoff, Love gets caught up behind his own lineman. They'll give him maybe a half a yard, maybe a full yard on the play up to the 5-yard line as we introduce that Vegas defense. Frank Stackhouse, A.K. Jones, and Anthony Stover, the defensive linemen, with Luke Swift, Maurice Lloyd, John Osiris, and Logan Thornburg at linebacker. Corners are Anthony Wayo, Andre Tucker, Merrick Itera, and Justin Reside, with the safeties being Mike Jones and Max Jackson. Tight end in motion here, 2nd and 9. Handoff, Love gets by one and is brought down from behind by Thornburg, who originally missed his initial attempt at a tackle, but comes back into the picture to bring him down eventually.
Yeah, he did. He come in really hot, and that was a good job of Love right there with great awareness to kind of juke around him there and really get some positive yards. I know it's just 5 yards, but that will open things up a little bit for the playbook right here. Gives them a little bit of breathing room.
They're down 5 yards to go. Jive will look to the air. As he looks over the middle, it's nearly picked off by Lloyd, the middle linebacker, and it's back-to-back punts for Portland here to begin the ball game.
Yeah, just nothing going right now. Obviously we got to credit that fantastic punt, by Las Vegas. That really made it difficult to move the ball this close to the goal line right here. And as you can see, the punter, Moore, just barely has enough room to get a nice clean kickoff.
Don't do a Dan Orlovsky and go one step too far back there, Mr. Moore, as he gets one away, as Britton will get it all the way to the 37-yard line of Portland here on the return. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button to begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Eric Price directing traffic behind him. Play clock at 3. You hand off to Kimbrell up the middle as Hubba will go to work, gain 7 yards before he's eventually brought down. Let's introduce you to the rest of that Portland defense. Robert Brar, Jobu McSlim, Louis Negron, and Ricky Phillips are in the trenches on defensive line. Brody Gulch, Mel Davis, Lucas Gilbert, and Joseph Lam are the linebackers. Corners are Derek Majors, Leo Morris, Chris Stock, and Ryan Cook. Safeties are Bernard Smith and Dale McLean as Kimbrell goes nowhere, taken down by Brody Gulch at the line of scrimmage.
Just really good defensive play right now by both sides of this team. And we talked about that, just how well these defenses were seeming to be playing at this point in the season. And right now, nobody willing to give an inch at the moment.
Blitz coming past left side, caught, turning upfield with a nice stiff arm for a couple extra yardage as the tight end, John Blades.
John Blades was just cutting them down over there towards the sidelines. Horrible pun intended, but really though, you take a look at this. This was a great play call. Look at that stiff arm. Great play call right there, just getting him out in the open. Just a nice little drop off underneath. They got just enough for the first down, and that's how you begin to build that momentum. Okay, that's how you get a sustained drive. Just chip away at it, a couple yards at a time, and eventually big things will come. That's important here in this game right now.
10. Price will look to throw again, looking middle. That is caught by Britton. 8-yard pickup for the wideout.
Well, all 7 seasons of his career and a 3-time All-Star, he's going to be someone that they're going to call on often in this game. And right there, that was his bread and butter, just a nice little route across the middle, making himself available, and a good chunk of yardage on first down.
Now they're in the red zone. Price, a perfect 3 of 3 to begin the ball game. Handoff, Kimbrell, left side, right into the teeth of the defense, and he leans forward for another Las Vegas first down.
Really interesting drive so far. I like the mix of pass and run, not getting too heavy on one another thus far, and really finally beginning to make some headway here, up close to this 10-yard line.
Wideouts, they'll go with the ground game again as Kimbrell gets through Gulch. Can't get through the second tackler, and it's a loss of 1.
Good defensive stop right there by Portland. And, that's something that we will expect to see out of this front line. They do a whole lot of this heavy rush. They'll kind of crowd the box as well. And, again, that's something that you'll probably see them go to early and often in this game.
Blitz coming again. Quick hitter attempt over the middle, looking for Mason Kirby, but cannot connect. They're down.
It was all on the pressure. I mean, that's exactly what you can attribute that to. They brought everybody and then some. They had them right up on the line in the middle, and then they had, defenders coming in on either side, and basically Thumper just did not, or excuse me, Price didn't have an opportunity to really even set his feet.
From the 14-yard line, blitz coming, and he lost the ball! Taken down and falling on it is the fullback, Brad Taylor Wright, and lucky for Vegas, they'll still have a shot at a field goal, but that defensive pressure from Portland gets home.
It did, and here they come. Take a look at that right there. I mean, it was just really three men really converged on him all at once. It was almost like they were drawing straws to see who was going to get the hit on him. But lucky for Las Vegas that they did. Taylor Wright did indeed fall on that fumble, so at least they get a chance at a field goal here.
Ryan Cook be credited with the forced fumble as the field goal is up and good from Matt Rage. A 9-play, 12-yard drive culminating in that field goal for Rage. And it's 3-0 Vegas here in Oregon.
It always feels good to be the first one to get points on the board. And, obviously we can't take that away from them. But if you are this Portland defense, I think you got to be feeling pretty good right now about the pressure you have been able to get so far in this game. It looks as if it could be a big problem heading into the rest of this first quarter and beyond.
Solid little return there from Morris up to the 30-yard line. Is for the first time tonight we head to SFL headquarters with Cam and Irvine from a game break. Cam, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Tyler. Battle of the winless, Tulsa and Mexico City tonight south of the border, and so far so good for the boys in black. Mexico City, Jordan Sipe to Terrell Cooper with the score. 17-3 Mexico City in the second. Back to you in Portland.
Thank you, Cam. As one wise man once said, someone's O has got to go, as Ezekiel Love carries for 9 yards. And fittingly, Mr. Matt Wilson with that quote. Miss you, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Love that line right there. Take a look at Love right here. He was he was apt to almost break one free with great blocking by Farmer up front. And again, I feel like the more that we see this guy get this football, we talk about it all the time, as a matter of fact, when we call Portland Fleet games. But he just seems like he's always one broke tackle, one juke move short of just breaking it. And I think, very liable that we could see that today.
All right, hand up. Here comes Love, untouched, nearly 10 yards down the field. It's an easy first down for the Fleet.
And truly just a pleasure to watch how he navigates the lanes. Looking at game film from previous games, it's something that I really thoroughly enjoyed, honestly, Tyler, in doing research for this. It's almost like he is in complete control of that vehicle. Just merging in and out of traffic is almost a good way to describe it, in my opinion.
Under 2 to go here in the first quarter. Go again to the ground game. This time, Love will find no purchase as Osiris takes him down at the line.
So Osiris there, 6'2", 250 pounds, and just did a great job on that one. He knew where they were going, and he crammed the middle and made a big stop right there.
That's calling an audible, backing off just a little bit off the line of scrimmage from where they were originally. Heavy blitz coming, pass right side, wide open. That's going to be an easy touchdown. Israel Adams will just hop. No!
Oh.
Taken down before the touchdown when you celebrate too early.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know what to say to that. That was...
You've got to be kidding me.
You're kidding. I'm at a loss of words, Tyler. Unbelievable right there.
Israel Adams could have had their 14th touchdown on a gimme.
Well, let's talk about what went right, which was the fact that they had the perfect offensive play call for that blitz. You mentioned they called the audible, and they brought everybody. Now, at the end of it there, that's a perfect example of let's not celebrate until we cross the goal line. My goodness, still trying to wrap my head around what we just seen.
Another heavy blitz, and Ezekiel Love will finish it off. One extra play, it won't matter. It's still 6 points for Portland.
No, give it to give it to Mr. Reliable right there to go ahead and finish that one. You know, a good drive. I mean, it really was a good drive, all things considered. Obviously, you want to see a little less celebrating. You know, you want to make sure that you can finish in that play before you start to do a little bit of celebration there. But nevertheless, they were able to get back again. Thank goodness for them. They had a second opportunity to do that, Tyler. So they take the early lead here and a chance at tacking on another point here.
First receiving touchdown of the season for Ezekiel Love. That's number 11 in Love's career, as the extra point is up and good from Joey Robb. And 4 plays, 71 yards, under 2 minutes time possession, as Portland will take their first lead of the game.
So we've got an entertaining one here already this evening, Tyler. It's been a lot of fun. Now both teams able to kind of trade offensive jabs just a little bit. Now Las Vegas going to be playing from behind. Going to be interesting to see what they can do here.
Las Vegas will have a chance to return this one. Here comes Jacob Morrison. He bounces out of one tackle and still trying to find a way downfield. He will eventually be brought down at the 47-yard line. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. Here come the Fury back to the line for their next possession. Last time out there, they were able to drive down the field and come up with a field goal. This time, they're going to give it to Kimbrell, and still going is Kimbrell. Up the field! Tight ropes along the sideline, and he has one man to beat. Derek Majors, can he catch him? Yes, he will! Dragging down Kimbrell at the 10-yard line.
Bubba Kimbrell looked like he was some kind of acrobat, walking a high wire right there, right on the tightrope. I mean, that was a fantastic play. Take a look. Just first off, gets past the initial line of scrimmage, dunks by a tackle, and look at this, bulldozed by a guy, and somehow manages to stay in bounds. That was truly a fantastic work of art right there by Kimbrell, literally towing the line. And like you said, with one man left to beat, he almost took that one entirely to the house. So offense is now starting to explode just a little bit.
62 yards on the run from Kimbrell, courtesy of our statisticians tonight, Damon Sim and Ron Haynes. We'll get to a story about Ron Haynes in a little bit, but however, that little run from the backup tailback going nowhere, again going to lose yards. Mel Davis in on the stop. The last time Vegas were here, partner, they went backwards and had to settle for a field goal. They don't want to have that happen again as we hit the quarter break. Portland 7, Las Vegas 3. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Quarter 2 about to resume here from Portland, Oregon, here from Evo 9X Stadium. I'm Tyler Falk, joined in the booth by my broadcast partner this evening, Cameron Duty, as Las Vegas will try to come up with some points to maybe retake the lead. Down by 4, heavy blitz coming, pass right side, and it's off the hands! Oh no, Mason Kirby! A gimme that they dropped. 2 gimmies squandered. 1 from each team. What is going on in Portland?
Mason Kirby is going to be sick at his stomach, and he's really going to be hoping he has a chance to rebound with that. That right there, you don't get many opportunities much more open than that to just secure the catch and walk in for an easy touchdown. My goodness, we're seeing a lot of snafus in this game thus far. They're going to have to tighten this thing up just a little bit.
3rd and goal from the 12-yard line. Blitz coming. Price, end zone, overshoots his target. Incomplete. And Vegas will have to settle for another field goal.
It was intended for Prince Wonder. And honestly, it looked like he had him right there. As you can see, he was breaking. You know, he had a step on the coverage there. It just looked to me like the pass was just a little bit hurried, too far out ahead, and instead they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt. So really, two good missed opportunities right there from Las Vegas. They're going to be wishing that they had those back.
29-yard attempt here for Matt Rage. Kick is up, and it will sail through the uprights. And good. 7-6, Las Vegas cut the deficit to 1.
Yeah, able to draw within one there. And let's take a look at that replay on a really, really nice kick there. Of course, again, it's always great, as we said, to get on the board there. But at some point in time, if you're Las Vegas, you're going to want to be able to punch that through for a touchdown. And like you said, the two missed opportunities before, that's going to sting until they can correct that. But believe you me, that'll be in the back of their minds the rest of this game.
Here on the return here for Portland, getting out of one tackle and trying to make something happen is the former man out of Las Vegas, Scott Johnson. He gets his return up to the 24-yard line, as that is where Portland will take over.
Yeah, okay, so you kind of a good return right there. What's going to happen to begin this series here? Are they going to continue to be heavy on Love, or are they going to see them actually open up this pass game just a little bit? I'm obviously curious to see if they decide to fan it out and go with the pass game once more.
Cyrus Jive, we talked about him having a very nice completion percentage with 69%, currently 50%, 3 of 6 so far tonight, as Love will get the call on first down, maybe a yard gained as Maurice Lloyd, amongst others, comes up with the stop.
And just like you mentioned, a really good season going so far. Very consistent, very comfortable in the pocket. Obviously, you got to credit that offensive line for giving him an opportunity to really stand in there and make some good decisions with the football. I've enjoyed watching him throw the football this year.
Love again on the call, still trying to find his way forward, but takes a little bit too much time, and the defense swarms him. Max Jackson, along others, they're going to give him 2 yards on that? Wow.
That's very generous, put it that way. Very generous.
I didn't think he got past the line of scrimmage, but then again, I'm not a referee.
I'm exactly like you, my friend. That's you read my mind on that one. I thought he barely made it back to the marker.
So it's 4 wide receivers here for Portland as Michael Knight goes in motion. Third down. They are 0 of 2 on third down. Play action. Jive with plenty of time. Now looks to throw into double coverage, and it's nearly intercepted by the journeyman Anthony Wyo. Cameron, I think you got swallowed by a submarine. We'll get back to you here in just a moment. But the Fleet, meanwhile, will have to go ahead and punt this one away, as Moore has a little bit more room to breathe here to punt this one away. He stands at his own 11-yard line. Here's Doug Britton trying to make a decent return, but he's taken down by Leo Morris, amongst others. And we go back to Cameron Irvine and an update from Mexico City. Cam?
Thank you, Tyler. History made tonight, sort of. Cale Barrett Jr., 4th and inches on the fake, completes the pass. A roughing the passer, going to give him a first down. Don't know if he would have gotten the first down without it, but anyway, first punter to ever complete a pass. Mexico City leads 20-10 in the second.
And a first down to keep the drive alive as well in there. Congratulations to Mr. Barrett Jr. as now the first play out of the huddle for Las Vegas gains 2 yards. Maybe back to a maybe unsubmerged Cameron duty. Cameron?
Hopefully I've been able to get above water here, Tyler.
And it sounds good already as they send the tight end in motion here on second down. That's Blades from their own 41-yard line. 3-4 look out of Portland. They'll go to the ground game up the middle. Brad Taylor right, the fullback. His first carry of the ball game, gains maybe a yard as Joseph Lama brings him down.
Yeah, really nice play by Lama. He obviously read that like a book and just came in and put the big stop on him. Las Vegas now struggling just a little bit here to move this ball really effectively.
Empty backfield for Price. That perfect 3 of 3 has gone 0 of 3 cents. Price will look to throw. Delayed blitz coming past middle, and that's the first completion in 4 attempts. That's Mason Kirby, and that's a first down.
It's basically like hitting the reset button in it. I mean, like you said, he went 0 for 3 after starting 3 for 3, but there's how you kind of get a little bit of that confidence back. Really nice route by Mason Kirby. And again, always the guy is a reliable target. 12 seasons in the league and 2 All-Stars. That tells you enough about just how good that guy is. So when you're having a tough down and out, go to your go-tos. That'll always get you kind of back on the right path.
They'll flip the field and be on the Portland side of midfield as Kimbrell gets the call, taken down. Behind the line, they'll give him forward progress. Back to the line of scrimmage. Second down.
Struggling with that running game at the moment, which is really interesting because, as you can see, Kimbrell has had a heck of a day thus far, but the last couple of plays, Portland really crowding the line, making it hard for them to move at all.
Blitz coming as Price can't get rid of it, and Mel Davis, who was sent up by blitz, gets home for the sack.
Well, you and I, partner, we sat right there and we watched him literally crowd the line, and you could see it. I mean, he was hungry. It was like he smelt blood there, and he was a shark. Take a look at this. I mean, there was no denying him. Once he broke through that penetration there on the line, it was over. And unfortunately, the quarterback just had no idea that he was anywhere around him.
First sack of the season for Mel Davis. Another blitz coming. They'll look over the middle. They had a country mile to go, and they do well enough to connect with Prince Wonder to make it 4th and 4, just outside of field goal range. Decision time coming for Vegas.
Decision time indeed. I must say, though, I think at this point, if I'm the coach, I think I'm going to play it safe right here. I don't feel as if the offense is firing on all cylinders right now to try to convert this.
So they will trot out Dustin McCrack, who had a very solid punt, which ended up inside the 5-yard line. This one is going to need a hop, skip, and a jump to get there. And it will be pinning Portland inside their own 20-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Do it, or I'll go into dark mode. Jive gonna look near side. That is caught. Acrobatic turning and falling was the receiver, Israel Adams, to come up with the catch.
That was just pretty. I mean, that's one of those catches that you're probably going to see on the highlight reel a little bit later on. Great display of acrobatics, as you mentioned there, Tyler.
I formation here for Jive. Delayed handoff. Here is Love. Good spin move for a few extra yards. That's a good run from Love.
There's a beautiful spin move. I mean, we've saw this guy do that a couple of times in this game. And take a look at this right here. Breaking ankles right there with that one.
About 8 yards for Love on the run. That results in a new set of downs here for the Fleet on their own 31-yard line. Quick drop from Jive. Pocket holds for now. Looking middle. Caught middle. Nelson Lozano Jr., the tight end. First down again.
Yeah, Lozano Jr. doing a good job right there. A good pocket, of course, for Jive to just sit back there and find his man. We've seen him have that same kind of look a couple of times in this game when he just missed his mark. Right there, though, he got him a really good route run. And honestly, there's a good height difference there, right there, between receiver and defender. He was able to reel that one in pretty easy with no contest. And a nice job by Portland to give him a fresh set of downs.
Looking to throw this time, near side, caught his Adams, and he took the hit and held on to the ball. Merrick Itera couldn't jar it free, and Portland continue to march down the field.
Yeah, they are getting a rhythm about them, aren't they? I mean, that was a wonderful play as we look at the replay. Literally, he was Goldberg speared. And still held on to the football. That was great concentration right there. He knew he was going to get hit. He knew he was going to get absolutely leveled, and he still was able to maintain possession. Wonderful job. Wonderful.
Front seven of Vegas expanding their area of authority as Jive will toss it out left side for Love. Love gets a nice block as he continues to break off tackles and gets 8 yards before Max Jackson can take him down.
Yeah, that's one thing about him. He's a double threat. Hand him the ball off, he can take off and make big things happen, or you can use him in a passing game such as that, little dink and dunks and screens. And the thing is, he's always a threat.
A heavy look out of Portland. I'll go with a run with Love up the middle. Got a couple of good blocks and still churning the legs for extra yardage, and they will get inside the red zone.
The best drive that we have seen thus far out of Portland, in my opinion. I think that it's been the most consistent. Obviously, we had a couple of big plays there that led to that last touchdown. But honestly, this has been really well balanced, and they are looking like they're really finding their footing as we head into the final moments of, in my opinion, what's been a really fast first half, Tyler.
Jive backing up a little further. That is caught by Nelson Lozano, and Lozano gets hit out of bounds. It's first and goal, Portland.
I really like this mix of play schemes that they're doing right here. I mean, take a look at this. You see Jackson dropping back into coverage. He was the lone man. Had he not pushed him out of bounds, had he not got Lozano out, that was going to be gone for 6. But they're doing a really good job. It looks as if Vegas is kind of expecting them to go a little bit more deeper. They're playing a little bit more conservative back there towards the goal line, and instead they came in with a really nice play along the flat.
8th play of the drive. First and goal from just outside the 3-yard line. Love is money in these situations, and they'll give it to him. Up the middle. Trill's trying to reach forward. They will give it to him. Touchdown for Portland. But we might get a review on this.
I would like to think that we would, Tyler. Honestly, if you're Las Vegas, definitely need to take a look at that one. Maybe right there is where they're going to say that he crossed over, but that's close, and we expected it.
Right away, Vegas throws the challenge flag. Head coach for the Fleets, John Bond, did not like the call. He saw what we saw, and we will take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com.
Like I said, maybe right there, that first burst. This one didn't take long to
Not even get a
decide.
second angle on it, just one angle. And that's enough for the officials to overturn the call. Good challenge from Vegas. That wasn't the greatest replay, but if that's all the officials need, who are we to argue?
I don't know if they barely got their head under the tent, but they saw what they needed to see, didn't they, Tyler? So anyway, back to the drawing board. We'll see if they line up and do the same thing again. He's just outside that goal line there.
Second and goal from just outside the goal line. Another heavy goal line I versus goal line D. Handoff, Love through the middle, touchdown, Portland! And they extend the lead back out to 7.
And he will not be denied. That was a really nice play right there. Obviously, they didn't give it to him on the first time, so they lined right up and and do it again. Give credit to that offensive line too, though. Let's just be honest. I mean, great people, you know, Jay Warren, Randy Fatt, Tyler Spencer, Jaden Taylor, all pushing the pile, and really that makes it easy for a guy like that to run. Great job, great offensive production right there all around.
And with that, that is touchdown number 79 for Ezekiel Love. That ties Keith Swearingen at 18th all-time in rushing touchdowns as the extra point is up and good. Now the score is 14-6 for Portland.
He really had to work for that one, didn't he, Tyler?
Absolutely. He had 2 bites of the cherry, as some would say, in order to take that 79th touchdown. And we are off and running again with Doug Britton. Swimming his way through defenders, but eventually brought down by Taylor at the 33-yard line. 2 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Las Vegas, who have had trouble not necessarily getting the ball into the red zone, but getting touchdowns when they're in the red zone, partner. They're going to have to find some points here on this drive to keep pace with Portland.
That's exactly right. You now do run the fear of getting left behind. As you said, it's been easy for them to get down in the scoring position, but we saw a couple of drop passes and things that have really hurt them and put them behind the 8 ball here. This is a crucial drive for them to keep pace with what Portland is beginning to generate.
But it's been mostly due to the defensive pressure up the middle. 4 TFLs for Portland, none for Las Vegas's defense. That just goes to show you what kind of defense Portland is displaying for us here tonight. Pass right side. Oh, a beautiful turn. Trying to spin his way upfield. Here he goes. Mason Curry inside the 20. And just like that, they're in the red zone again.
Yep, that's exactly right. Now, you got what you wanted. You got the look that you needed in order to get you down there. Now you got to finish the drive. That was a fantastic play. I thought that was great. It was gutsy coming out on first down like that. But again, you know, we talked about Mason Kirby. He is somebody that he's a playmaker, obviously. You know, that goes without saying. But, you know, you look to those guys like that when you need something big to happen, and they really needed that spark.
We hit the 2-minute warning on a good catch, but an even better run. As now Las Vegas knocked back on the door line again. This is the SFL on YouTube. Two minutes to go here from Portland, Oregon, and Evo 9X Stadium. Tyler Falk and my partner Cameron Duty on the call. Las Vegas are in the red zone for the 3rd time tonight, have yet to score a touchdown from this area. Kimbrell bounces off a tackle, looking near side, turning upfield, and stepping out of bounds after gaining 8.
Well, that was really nice, and honestly, that's something we've saw him do all day long. Take a look at that, really just breaking out that first tackle, and then he gets over to the sideline, starts the tightrope walk there, almost recreation of what he did just a couple of series ago there. So a really nice job, though, of what looked like to be, at some point, a negative play, turning it into a positive 8 yards.
High formation here for Vegas on 2nd down. Handoff blitz coming. Kimbrell, one-step arm, trying to look for the corner, turns upfield, out of a tackle, and springing into the end zone. Touchdown, Las Vegas. They're 2 points away from tying it up.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see, wasn't it, Tyler? And to see if they could do it for one. I mean, you know, you honestly start to get in your psyche just a little bit when you get down there in that territory twice and you have to come away with, you know, field goals. So it was really good to see them go right back there, and a great job again by Kimbrell finishing the drive, a drive that he had really carried a lot of the way. Of course, you had the big reception by Kirby, and then they relied on Kimbrell for the rest of it.
And they will go for 2. Price looking for a dump off for Kimbrell, but denied behind the line. The 2-point conversion is no good. It remains a 14-12 ball game.
Wasn't really a big fan of the play call on that one. It looked like it was just read like a book. I feel like they would have had better opportunities had they just lined it up and gave it to Hubba there.
Instead, it goes for naught. And here comes the return from Scott Johnson. Makes a spin, but is contained by Andre Tucker. And the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. And so Portland, with a 2-point lead, have all 3 timeouts and are 75 yards away from the end zone. And more points potentially. Las Vegas will get the ball to start half number 2. 20 points here could help. Pass left side, caught. Michael Knight targeted a couple times, but his first reception is a first down.
Looked as if Las Vegas was just about to get the pressure that they wanted. But as you can see, coming around the outside there, but again, a good job, great awareness by Jive right there to get rid of that. And a nice reception there before being wrangled down. And that's really good for them. I mean, obviously they've got their timeouts. They're a pretty good 2-minute team, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they can drum up here.
It's like Jive had alarm bells going off his head. He felt Maurice Royd's pressure from the backside and just got it away in time. 4-man rush, blitz cutting through, and it's picked off! Maurice Lloyd didn't come up with a sack, but comes away with a turnover nonetheless.
Beginning to haunt him a little bit, right? I guess his spider senses was maybe tingling there. But now on that play right there, I'm really surprised. He kind of threw off his back foot as well. Yeah, pressure was coming. Just kind of tried to force it in there and make something happen, and really no need for it at that point in time. You know, moving the ball pretty effectively, and I guess he got a little bit hurried on that one. But boy, that is to Las Vegas's gain, isn't it? Now all of a sudden they've got 1:10 to play with, and could go up before the half ends.
That's Maurice Lloyd's second touchdown or 22nd interception in her career. Now Vegas will have a chance to retake the lead here in the last knockings of this second quarter. 4-man rush, Price middle, tipped in the air, incomplete. Mel Davis with the nice extension to bat the ball away.
Yeah, a really nice job of swatting that one down. It looked like it certainly had potential, and just about traded interceptions on there too. Had he had a step maybe more on that, maybe we were able to get to the ball a little bit quicker, we could have saw an interception there.
Three wideouts here for Price on second down after the incompletion. Now they'll go trips on the right side. 2 seconds in the play clock. They get the snap off. Pass is tipped again. Incomplete. Leo Morris with a pass deflection.
Looks like they've pretty much abandoned the run up to this point. Now you're in a third down situation where you have to pass it. So it's not going to be unpredictable at all. So kind of surprised here. They were moving the ball pretty effectively. They had enough time, I felt, to try a couple of runs anyway, kind of keep the pass and run mixed up pretty well, but now we pretty much know exactly what they have to do here.
Blitz coming. Price gets it away. Finds Kimbrell. Kimbrell looking for the first down. He will get it. The combined tackling led by Mel Davis, not strong enough. And Vegas will call their first of 3 timeouts, and they'll get a new fresh set of downs.
I really like that play call, and it was one of those things that, you knew that all of those Portland defenders were going to be up in your face, but you just, as a quarterback, just have to stand in there, and Eric Price did a great job. Yeah, he was smothered indeed, but a really nice job able to get rid of that pass and find Kimbrell out in the open.
Kimbrell going to be a slot receiver here on this next play. As Price will look to throw right side, incomplete. Little bump and shoving on that far side, but it's within 5 yards, so no penalty.
And they'll get to go back to the drawing board on that one and just see what they can come up with here. Now, this is interesting. This kind of plays back into what we were talking about earlier when you get down to this position of the field, finishing drives. Right now, they've got a really good opportunity and plenty of time to make it happen. Nobody in the backfield either.
The second play in a row. Linebacker showing blitz will back off. Just 4 men sent. Price near side, caught. John Blades, first down, timeout number 2 for Vegas.
another nice play call. I really like what they are doing right here and showing full confidence in their quarterback and their receivers. One thing that they were able to do, they were able to, on the corners there, good blocking. They know that the pressure is getting to Price, that they're going to get him on his back. So instead, you see the two ends out there doing a great job blocking, kind of keeping some of that pressure contained.
Well, shove. Kimbrell out again. Pass tipped
Ooh.
away again by Leo Morris, his second of the night. And these last couple of pass deflections, now 3 in total for Portland, are the only 3 pass deflections in the contest.
And getting very dangerously close to being able to return one. That was just a hair from going back the other direction.
Second and 10 now here for Vegas. Rice looking middle, tipped for the 4th time on the drive alone. Mel Davis, his second pass deflection.
I think it's safe to say that Price will go home tonight and see Davis in his nightmares.
Well, he sure isn't Sam Darnold, and he isn't seeing ghosts, hopefully, but he's going to have to find the hands of the white, black, and pink. Or red. Price down again. Sack number 2 of the ball game for Portland's defense. It's Robert Brar.
300 pounds, a former All-Star, all 7 seasons right here with Portland. 6'6", look at this, just laid the hit on it. Man, that's a big man, and that hurts when you get taken down just like that. That pressure was right there on top of Price. He did a good job of eluding it for most of the series. But again, good job of Portland slowing them down.
43-yard attempt here from Matt Rage to try and give Vegas the lead before we hit the half. Snap spot, kick is up, and it will knock off the post. It's no good. The first missed field goal this season by any kicker.
And it couldn't have come at a worse time. My goodness, I mean, that's a heartbreaker. You finally think you're down there in your position. You've been able to move yourself again down into, scoring territory, and you think you're getting ready to go in and at the end of the half with the lead. Instead, all of that for naught. He's going to have to shake that one off because they may need him again in this game. He can't let that wander there in his mind too long.
There were talks of will every single kicker have a perfect record. That perfect streak has ended here in Portland as the Fleet will run out the clock here in the first half. It is 14-12. Fleet with a slim lead as we go into the half.
And Tyler, I tell you what that does, that you got to sit back and just kind of take a look at the events that transpired the final few minutes of that second quarter there. It was exhausting. This has been a great game so far, my friend. I have enjoyed every bit of it. A close contest for Las Vegas right now. A couple of opportunities that they have left out on the field. We saw some great plays by Kimbrell. We've also seen a couple of drop passes, some surefire plays that would have really honestly went for a touchdown there. They've had to rebound. They've had to miss field goal now, so they've really kind of been beating themselves. Otherwise, pretty solid game. Portland now coming out and doing just a fantastic job of moving the football, again, relying on Ezekiel Love. There you see his stats. And I expect more of the same for the second half, my friend. I think that it's going to be interesting to see who can make the best adjustment. My big question is, can Las Vegas finally begin to finish drives? That's the big thing, and I think that's what you're going to have to keep up with this Portland Fleet.
We welcome you back inside beautiful Evo 9X Stadium here in Portland, Oregon. The Fleet have the lead, 14-12. They will kick it off to begin the half as we welcome you back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Cameron Duty here in the booth, and we are underway. Here comes the return from Vegas and Jacob Morrison. He trots out left side, a little spin move, and he falls forward all the way up to the 37-yard line, they'll say. And Vegas will start their drive in decent field position to begin the half.
Yeah, very much so. Morrison has done a really good job today. Obviously, 34 yards a return. So he's did his part in allowing them to get some good field position. And now with that last missed field goal, and as we should say, the first missed field goal of the entire season, it's lingering on their mind. There's no doubt about it. But you got to put that behind and treat this second half just kind of wiping the slate clean.
Start the drive with 3 wideouts. They'll pitch it left side for Kimbrell. He's out of 1, out of 3 tackles, and still going. Here comes Hubba Kimbrell. Down the left side as Ricky Phillips will shove him out of bounds. Big run from Kimbrell to begin the half.
Yeah, and a big play by the rookie, Ricky Phillips right there. I mean, again, we have saw this a couple of times in this game where Kimbrell is just a couple of moves from just being gone. And, again, we were right at that point. It looked like the last line of defense for Portland. Kimbrell now continuing to just churn those legs, and he's one of those guys that the more you feed him the football, the more dangerous he is going to be. You take a look at the stats he's already put up today. A huge asset, but, of course, that goes without even saying just how great he has been for this team today, keeping them in this game.
Blitz coming. Price has to look over the middle and nearly throws an interception to Mel Davis. And I think the one thing that can really be said about this Portland defense is speed. We go back to 2 plays earlier. Ricky Phillips, all 300 pounds of him with the acute angle on Kimbrell. Just get to the speed of that speedy tailback.
You're exactly right on that, Tyler. Wonderful, just awareness of knowing where he needs to get to stop the play.
I formation here on 2nd down. Here for Vegas. From the 38-yard line to Portland. Bryce will look to throw, has to scramble, gets a nice little run up the middle, and he will slide to the 30-yard line. Good decision-making there from Eric Bryce.
That was good, and we have saw him do a really good job today for the most part in his decision-making. A couple of in-air throws out there, but every quarterback has those. That's just part of the game. Right there, though, he displayed great confidence in taking the ball and just tucking it and running with it and getting down before getting hurt.
Kimbrell on the give. Left side and is pushed forward to about the 20-yard line. Another first down for Las Vegas.
I think it's a great play call. I think they're coming out and they're doing exactly what they needed to. They're staying within their game plan, which of course is utilizing Kimbrell, mixing a nice little eclectic play calling there, just kind of getting some passes in, and then of course going back to Kimbrell. It's worked really well for him right now. Again, like we said, just finishing drives. It's a must.
Try up the middle with Kimbrell. Kimbrell tried to hurl and pay the price. Dale McClain with the hit.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt. That'll hurt tomorrow. Actually, that may even hurt right now. It was just a really good tackle, and he paid the price on that hurdle.
Right back up and in the huddle, and the deep man in the line as they go back to him again. This time, not a whole lot of fancy moves, taken down by Bernard Smith after a short pickup.
And again, talking about that speed, Tyler, that you just mentioned, this is the part of the field where they always seem to really just lock in, and they don't break. They may bend a little bit, but they certainly don't break.
High formation again. 3rd and 5 for the Fury. Price looking, middle, open, touchdown, Mason Kirby.
And who else, right? That guy has come up with some fantastic plays this entire game thus far. When they've needed a big play, when they've needed a first down conversion, when they've had to go to him, when it looked as if, Price was getting ready to take the sack, you could rely on Mason Kirby, and the same thing right there. That was a really nice route. It was a really nice play design, too, just sending him right across the middle there, and really good chemistry for quarterback and wide receiver right there. Beautiful play.
First receiving touchdown of the season, but that is touchdown number 70 in Mason Kirby's career. That ties Jake Legacy at 16 all-time in receiving touchdowns as the extra point from Matt Rage is up and good. 19-14 our score here in Portland, Oregon. Now available, free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23 right in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL.
All right, so how will Portland respond, Tyler? I'm really interested to see as they get to come out and get the football for the first time this half. Now down, and you know what we see them go with. You got to imagine Jordan Love is going to be the focal point as he has been all game. It's really been interesting watching Love and Kimbrell kind of go back and forth here, really putting on a clinic for both of these teams.
First play of the drive here for the Fleet. Their first drive of the half. Can they respond to Vegas and come back and take the lead? Jive with time, middle, one-handed, very nice snag from Michael Knight. That is a very nice catch. That's the nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23.
Yeah, he made that look like it was just second nature, didn't he? I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful reception right there, and with ease, might I add.
So that will flip the field here for Portland as they're now at the Las Vegas 45-yard line. I formation behind Jive. Quick hitter, nearly intercepted. Maurice Lloyd nearly took that one away as we go back to Mexico City where Cameron Irvine has another game break for us.
Thank you, Tyler. This SFL Saturday night has been truly great television. JQ out of the game. Look at the backup. Relying on Gabriel Manning. He's got over 100 yards. Tulsa trying to climb back. Douglas Brown has missed 2 quarters in this game. David Ware has missed 2 quarters in this game. And JQ is out permanently for the rest of the game. Tied at 20 in the 4th. Back to you in Portland.
That's quickly become an injury bowl over there in Mexico City. A tight one over there as well. Thank you, Cam. Jive over the middle. That one is caught by Ryan Davis. His first reception of the ball game, gains 1 for Portland, and that'll set up 3rd and 9.
A big-time 3rd and 9 here because for the first time today, Portland looks as if they don't make a stop, or excuse me, if they can't get a conversion here, you know, with the way that Las Vegas is beginning to turn, this could be big.
Jive, good pocket for Jive. Now gets rid of it. Open downfield. Israel Adams falling forward. It's a 1st and goal for Portland.
Why did we ever question him? I mean, just a great job right there by Jive. We've talked about how well that offensive line has been all day long, and again, no exception here. And a nice job by Love there. Just really, really interesting stuff right there. I mean, I love the blocking scheme was fantastic. Everybody was involved, allowed Jive to have just enough time to make a beautiful, beautiful catch, and pass reception there is wonderful.
36 yards to Adams. Jive, another good pocket. Enough time to find Adams again, and Portland retake the lead.
And there you go. That's all it takes. I mean, that's a team. Portland are very, very good at that. I mean, just when you think you've got them kind of behind the 8 ball, they come back and bam. 2 beautiful pass and catch plays to Adams. They're back out in front.
I'll tell you what, partner, that drive could not have happened without an offensive line as stout as these guys right here. Randy Fatt III, Tyler Spencer, Jaden Taylor, and Jay Warden. Take a bow. That was phenomenal offensive line play if I've ever seen it. And Portland retake a 2-point lead.
And that was exactly right. That was all the difference and that's really been the big difference in this game. And we've talked about it, Tyler, quite often. is just how much time Jive has had, and Love as well. Just great lines, great lanes forming up front on the runs, and of course pass protection. It's been wonderful. Las Vegas hasn't had that. They've been under a lot more pressure actually.
Oh, boom! A smack laid on to Jacob Morrison, gets sent flying back into last week.
yeah, he may have got up and turned the wrong direction to go back to the huddle after that smackdown. We've saw some hits like that today. I mean, we really have. It's been a physical contest. It's been a close contest too, and both of these teams they don't like each other too well.
I mean, this is only the third matchup, partner, but these two teams playing really tight football. For the first time, Las Vegas has let up more than 17 points in a game this season. This is the most that any team has scored on them to this point. And now they're going to play catch-up.
Yeah, they do. And it's been a really interesting thing about this game, Tyler, has been simply the ebbs and flows of it. We have saw moments where it looked like Las Vegas was beginning to get their footing, even on defense, make some big stops to where they could potentially pull away, and then Portland just comes right back and shuts them down. It's really been fascinating television.
Blitz coming, pass middle, cannot find Kirby in time. That pass rush has been insufferable for Eric Price.
It has, and that has been the big difference. As we said, we were just talking about Jive. I mean, I was so excited, I was fumbling over my words there just about how good that offensive line coverage has been for him. Las Vegas hasn't had that. Now, they've certainly had their moments, but been just about in Price's face this entire game.
Third down. Las Vegas is 5-9, looking left side. That's a third down catch. And another first down. There's Doug Britton.
I think it's also safe to say that Eric Price has really kind of laid his body out there on the line a couple times in order to make a really nice pass. So you got to give him credit for that. And again, finding Doug Britton, between Britton and Kirby, that's been his go-to so far in this game. I haven't heard much from Prince Wonder yet, so may expect to hear his name called before this game's over.
And off Kimbrell. Near side has a lane. He shoves a man into next week. We got people going into last week, people going into next week. Oh, this game's all topsy-turvy.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting knocked down like bowling pins. Kimbrell is not going to be denied. I mean, we saw him hit and gouge and stiff arm people, as you said, into next week. I can't get over it.
8 men in the box here for Portland. Another first down pass middle. One-handed snag and a first down to boot for John Blades, the tight end.
What Las Vegas is doing really well with, as we said, Portland has left pressure on them all day long, but what they have done, they've taken advantage of what Portland has left out there, and that's been kind of the middle of the field, and they've kind of counteracted with a really good series of passes here, just like we said, to Kirby and to Blades in the middle of the field, able to get really what the defense gives them.
And off Kimbrell, middle again. Dale McClain is sent back again for the second play on the drive. He cannot stop Kimbrell.
He's probably not going to know his name after that, just to be honest with you, Tyler. How much fun has it been, though, to watch Kimbrell today? I mean, my goodness. And like we said, the more he gets the ball, the more dangerous he gets. So who knows what kind of hit he may lay on the next guy there.
3 wide receivers. They'll go again to Kimbrell. He's trying to push his offensive lineman forward. He'll gain 2 after he's tackled from behind by Robert Brower.
And here they are again in that position of the field there. You're wanting to see if they can make it back into the end zone. We've saw them a couple times have to settle for field goals and field goal attempts. Now, they were able to at least get in on that last drive. Can they do it again to retake the lead here?
Pitch play, Kimbrell near side. He's looking for the score, and he gets knocked out of bounds. Just a few yards shy. First and goal, Vegas.
If you ask Hubba Kimbrell, he's going to say, yeah, we're going to get there. and you do it with great plays like that. Take a look at that again, bouncing to the outside, and again it was another one man to beat, an open field tackle that stopped the touchdown there, and that was Bernard Smith who came in on that stop.
174 yards on 20 carries for Kimbrell tonight. There's a reason why he's top 5 in yards, in average yards a game. Goal line eye. Kimbrell again on the call. He gets out of a tackle, looking for the corner, and he's got it! Touchdown Vegas, our 4th lead change of the ball game.
The man would not be denied. I mean, the entire drive. But again, right there, using that physicality, because he can do that. He's very durable. And again, bulldozing over a couple of defenders, and they just couldn't bring him down. And when he gets to the outside, he's that much more lethal. And again, 4th lead change of the day in what has been really a very exciting game thus far.
Here comes Matt Ray to tack on the extra point. That one is up and good. You can see the ball swerving in the air from left to right. Lots of wind here at Evo 9X coming out from the harbor.
And that could have played a big part in exactly what happened on that field goal attempt back at the end of the first half.
We're all set to go again. Las Vegas have a 5-point lead. But will it stand? Here comes the return, getting a couple of decent blocks out of a tackle. Here comes Scott Johnson against his former team. He's down the sideline. Scott Johnson, one man behind him at the 10-yard line. 5 touchdowns, Scott Johnson. Our 5th lead change. It's going bonanza here in Portland.
Every time that Las Vegas thinks that they have them in the corner and they're just one blow away from maybe opening this thing up, and then Portland comes back. We have saw it all day, all game long, all day long. Take a look at this now from special teams. Johnson with a wonderful job of eluding tackles right back there. And then when he again bounces out to the outside, he was gone. So that was a truly beautiful, beautiful special teams play. It was set up well, and Johnson did the rest. My goodness. If you are Las Vegas, how are you feeling right now? You cannot get an edge on these guys.
Well, 4 was our 5th lead change. That's lead change number 6. In a very heavy ball game. Portland hits 28 points for the 4th time this season. 92-yard return from Scott Johnson. And how will Vegas respond with 2:39 to go in the 3rd quarter? We're not done yet. Here comes Jacob Morrison, and he will be brought down to the 33-yard line so we can all take a collective breath.
Yeah, for just a moment, because that's been a lot to unpack. I mean, you had Las Vegas going up, feeling good about themselves. I mean, finally getting, like I said, back on the lead, and maybe this is the time that they can finally lock down Portland and then leave it to Johnson there with that big return. So now, again, playing from behind is Las Vegas, and they got to be wondering, man, what do we have to do here?
Scott Johnson, that was his first career kick return touchdown. Oh my goodness. It isn't just Kimbrell who's bullying Dale McLean. It's also John Blades.
Oh, they're angry. I mean, and you could certainly see why. It just feels like Portland is just, they won't die. They're like the cockroach at the end of the nuclear bomb. I mean, they just keep coming back. That's all I can say.
Like big brother picking on little brother at the moment. 2nd and 1 from the 42-yard line. I formation behind Eric Price. They go to Kimbrell through the middle. Kimbrell again with a stiff arm. Bernard Smith cleans it up at midfield.
It's taking at least 2 people to bring Kimbrell down right now. As you can see, he always comes out leading with that stiff arm, man. The guy just, he knows, it's like science watching him. I mean, the movements, his motions. He knows he's going to stiff arm here. He's going to put his shoulder forward here. It's fascinating to watch. It really is a joy watching both these running backs today play the way they have.
Delayed handoff. Here comes the fullback, Brad Taylor Wright. And that's a solid gain of 8 for the tailback.
It was. Maybe that's something that they're going to begin to look at now, which is just kind of, switching it up. Maybe doing a two-back tandem there to where you give Kimbrell a couple of races to catch his breath and at the same time kind of confuse them with Wright there, maybe get some big chunks of yardage.
Just over a minute to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 2, Vegas down by 2, handoff Kimbrell, near side, looking for the edge, brought down by Chris Stock, but not before Kimbrell picks up the first down.
Yeah, he got just enough right there, but like you said, it's all that matters. 4 fresh sets of downs here, see what they can do with it.
They will need about 9 yards to be in field goal range. Price looking middle. That is caught. Doug Britton will pick up 4 more.
And you got to imagine that they're going to be kind of nonchalant about it here at the end of this third, just kind of see what they can do with the final seconds of it. But heading into this fourth quarter here, you take a look at the points margins with Las Vegas. Really interesting. They always seem to play teams close. Looks like we're going to get that again.
Kimbrell again on the call. Kimbrell is draped all over. They did not want him to go anywhere. A solid tackle from Mel Davis.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And again, we've mentioned Davis's name the entire night. He has been everywhere, and sometimes it seems like all at once. I mean, the guy just swarms the field.
And that takes us to the end of quarter number 3. Get your 4s up in the stands and in chat. This is the SFL as we send it to Chris Curtis to tell you about our rights.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thank you, Chris Curtis. Welcome back to Week 5 of the Simulation Football League's 21st season here from Portland, Oregon, Evo 9X Stadium. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Tyler Falk, alongside Cameron Duty here in the booth. Our statisticians are Damon Simeon and Ron Haynes, who have done an excellent job tonight. And, of course, our producer is the commissioner, Cameron Irvine, as Mel Davis spun around 3 times like he was a ballerina, but came up with a deflection nonetheless. Prince Wonder, the intended target, and that will result in a potential long field goal attempt for Matt Rage to take a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Rage is going to have to put what happened last time out of his mind here, so no.
They'll leave it in the hands, or I guess the leg, of Dustin McCrack. It's going to be a high, spiraling attempt, which will bounce to the 20 and take a favorable Portland bounce to about the 17-yard line. And so for the third time tonight, Portland will start inside their own 20-yard line for a drop.
Yeah, I guess Las Vegas felt more comfortable leaving it in the hands of the defense here to see if they could get a stop, and instead of allowing Portland that really good field position.
We have not seen a single run from Portland in the second half, as Jive will go back to the air. That's caught near side by Nelson Lozano, turning upfield and picking up a first down.
And you talk about making adjustments, like you said, there's one we haven't heard from Ezekiel Love at all this second half. They have been so pass heavy. It's kind of interesting that they would go that route, especially with how well it seemed to be going for them. But right there, a really nice job and a nice conversion for another first down.
Then again, partner, that's only their 6th play of the half. They only had 1 drive, which their offense was out in the field in the third quarter, as they had that kickoff return touchdown.
Very good point.
Johnson. And off Love with his first carry of the half, and he shows off his fresh legs and gains 8.
He is going to have some fresh legs, so there you go. He's going to be primed and ready to run when he gets that football again. There was a nice display of it, another nice spin move, and the guy just seems to have some of the prettiest spin moves in all the game. It's just second nature.
I don't know if you also caught that, partner, but in that split back look, they tied the former halfback in Vegas, the now wide receiver here in Portland, in that split back formation as Portland gets the call, or Love gets the call again for another Portland first down.
Yeah, and you're right. Now, as you can see, just really utilizing everybody. Great lanes. Once again, we have bragged on this offensive line this entire game, Tyler. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. Again, a great job right there. They have really allowed so many different lanes and places that Love could go, different maneuvers there, and it's paying big dividends.
Love, left side, pushing the pile. Only grabbing 3 before he's brought down by a couple of the defensive backs. Second down.
This is a very critical drive right here for Portland because, yep, they are up by 2. That is a fact. But what they could do, just stretching that lead out a little bit could make it very difficult for Las Vegas, a team who has struggled getting into the end zone quite a bit in this game.
Drive off his back foot. Almost found Adams. The hit from Max Jackson knocks the ball free, and it will bring up third down.
That would have been a beautiful highlight had they been able to have completed that one. But again, a nice defensive play right there. And that brings up a big third down. That's not the first time that we've seen Jive actually take off and throw off that back foot today.
Portland is 1 of 4 on third downs tonight. They'll need to get to the Las Vegas 45 to convert on only their second third down of the contest. 4-man rush. Jive with time. Looking middle. It is caught. Michael Knight. He's been clutch on third downs or in first down conversions in general tonight, and they will get to around the 30-yard line.
He has, and even if they know he's going that way, if Jive is looking for him, there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, he has just come up with big time receptions each and every time, and that's the mark of a good athlete right there, a clutch player. They even know they're going to call your number, but you still come up with the big play.
23 yards in total from Jive to Michael Knight. As they go on the ground again to Love. Love taken down after 3 by Maurice Lloyd.
And you're beginning to start to feel the wind kind of go out of Las Vegas, the sails just a little bit. We talked going into this game, this being the first time Portland has been at home against Las Vegas and what difference it would make. Right now, they're looking to get in the W column.
And off. Here for Love. Love with a couple more yards. That's 5. That'll bring up third and short.
Of course, nevertheless, if Las Vegas can come up with a big stop here and negate them to just a field goal attempt, that would be huge and really would probably give a spark to this Las Vegas team that may be feeling a little bit exhausted right now.
And off. Love through the middle, breaking off tackles. There goes Ezekiel Love into the end zone. Touchdown, Portland. They extend the lead out to a more comfortable margin.
There it was. We were wondering if it was going to happen. We had waited the entire day to see Love get that little breakaway speed. We saw him punch it in a couple of times from the goal line, but that one right there, from about 20 yards out, he got just enough open room right there, and he turned on the jet. So a nice job by Portland, and that come through for them. That was clutch. 6th lead change of the day, and probably the most important.
And just like that, Ezekiel Love notches a couple more records for him in the ball game. That is touchdown number 80 in his career. He now owns 18th all-time in that category, taking it away from Keith Swearingen, and now has more than 102 rushing yards in tonight's game. That surpasses Jared Willis. Love now 18th all-time, all by himself in that category as well. A banner day for the Portland running back. As here on the return comes Jacob Morrison as he brings out the return out to near the 30-yard line as Rocco McLovin, oh no, is down for Portland. He's not getting up, partner.
No, that does not look good. We can only hope that was nothing serious and that maybe he can come back before this game is over to help his team finish this one out.
It's now a 2-score lead for Portland. 9 points separating the two ball clubs. Vegas who has not been in too many of these situations in recent memory. 9 of 11 have been decided by 10 points or more, while Portland has had 9 of their last 11 decided by less than 10 points. As the flip out right side for Kimbrell. Another man goes down. Kimbrell stays in bounds and falls forward to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, I'm still, playing down by 11, but they're obviously going to go with what's worked for them thus far. And really, you have to. Kimbrell has been the workhorse today. I mean, as we've talked about, just the yardage that he has been able to put up, not only in running but even in receptions. And I wondered if we might see this because as I seen the replay right then, it looked as if maybe he did get a little too close to that white line and actually did step out of bounds.
It looked quite close, but we will take another retroactive look at this play presented by Retroid SFL console at GoRetroid.com.
So you can see right there, I don't know.
Just maybe a half a yard behind the line to gain if they do call him out. This is going to be tough.
Close.
Let's go down to the referee. And they will rule in the favor of Portland. So it will not be a first down. It'll be second and short.
It was an important challenge because now what that does, obviously, that negates a first down. They took some time off the clock. And right now, with the way that Las Vegas has been able to move the football, they haven't been able to really, utilize 3 and 4 play drives. It's taken them some time to get down the field. And truly, it makes you wonder, do they have enough time to not only get down the field once, but to do it again if they need to? They're going to have to pick up their tempo, I feel like.
Blades will be tucked in tight to the line now. They're on second and short after the challenge. Handoff. Kimbrell through the line. Continuing to go forward, and then is turned asunder by Chris Stack for a first down here as we go to Mexico City there and see what happened to the Aztecs and Desperados. Cam, over to you.
Thank you, Tyler. You're never going to believe this. One of the greatest plays in SFL history. Doug Johnson, a backup quarterback, leading Tulsa down the field, down 3 with 10 seconds left. Hits Gabriel Manning eventually here. What drama in Mexico City as Gabriel Manning breaks off 2 tackles and wins the game for Tulsa. That's a final 27-23, sending the Aztecs to 0-5. Back to you in Portland.
Wow. Tulsa, retire that man's number. He has done you a service. And Tulsa notches a crooked number in the win column for the first time all season. And all I have to say for the Mexico City Aztecs, you have now become the Los Angeles Chargers in the meme of pain. I'm sorry. Handoff Kimbrell, first down.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's going to be a long week for them. Right there, 2 defenders to come up and make a big stop on that and let Manning slip by. That's tough. That's tough to swallow. It really is.
A little over 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Vegas driving down by 9. Kimbrell trying to bounce out to the right-hand side, but denied. Maybe a loss of 1, as this will be a shocker for Portland. Brody Gulch, who had an incredible first half, is down and will leave the ball game.
A couple of injuries now beginning to rack up a little bit for Portland in the final minutes of this game. As we said, hopefully nothing serious that will plague them throughout the rest of this game, but nevertheless, second down here.
Second and 11. Here for Price. Blitz coming. Pass middle. Caught by Kimbrell. Taken down by Davis after a pickup of 5. And that will bring up a crucial third down late in the ball game.
It is definitely the play of the game for Las Vegas. And they have made some good plays today. Obviously, really doing a nice job responding through adversity at times when they've needed to. They need to pull one more rabbit out of the hat for this one.
Launch, set, near side. Blitz coming. Price, middle, caught. First down to the 26-yard line. It's Doug Britton in the clutch.
And Doug Britton got some air on that one. But again, you look for those guys. We've talked about Kirby. We've talked about Britton all day long, coming up when they need to or the big-time play. And there it was again to just keep those hopes alive and keep this drive alive right here for Las Vegas.
Not the 34, but the 26. Slash 27-yard line. Handoff. Kimbrell, right side, 2-yard pickup. Mel Davis in on yet another tackle. Number 11 tonight.
My goodness, the man has had a quite day, just swarming this entire field.
That leads all defenders in tackles. Behind him, Bernard Smith with 10 tackles. Handoff Kimbrell, brought down by Joseph Lama, and Vegas, sensing the pressure, hurry back to the line. 3rd and 5 here for the Fury. Blitz coming. Price looking middle. Off the shoulder pad of John Blades. Incomplete. 4th down and 5. Will they kick a field goal or will they go for it?
In my opinion, I think it's 4-down territory. You've already showed that you're a little bit shaky right there in the field goal department just at the moment, but they're going to show their confidence instead and rage here to try to get the sure points on the board. Kind of thought they may go for it, make it 4-down territory here.
Thumper the holder. Rage the kicker, and it's up and good this time. He did miss one earlier, but he redeems himself, putting 3 on the board, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Yeah, indeed. And again, good for him, able to get a little bit of confidence in him there after that. Of course, as we've said, with this 6-point deficit, that 3 points there that they left out there on that missed field goal certainly is weighing heavily on their minds at the moment.
They will kick it away. They are not going to try an onside kick, and we've seen plenty of special teams onside kick phenomenon all day long here in the SFL as Scott Johnson gets the return. But going back to earlier in today's games, partner, we saw a kick return touchdown on an onside kick from Louisiana. We saw Charleston recover an onside kick and eventually tie up the game versus Florida to send that game to overtime. Florida would eventually win that game, but we have seen a lot of special teams tonight.
Indeed, we have. It's been fun to watch, too, even in this game, like you said, with Scott Johnson. Just a dangerous threat back there.
Jive will throw, and it's batted in the air. Great awareness from A.K. Jones to knock the ball away.
Yeah, 6'5", 310 pounds, all 7 seasons here with Las Vegas, and one of the first times we had a chance to call his name today. But it's good to see Las Vegas. They're able to get some pressure on Jive, as that has been kind of a bone of contention so far in this game for them.
A.K. Jones's 5th pass deflection in his long career, as you just mentioned, partner. 2nd and 10. Now for Portland, they are going to go back to the air again with a 6-point lead. Jive, though, has time, now throws over in the middle. It is caught. No. Incomplete. It looked like for a second Adams had it, but the ball does tumble free. And it brings up 3rd down. The clock is stopped at 3:14. They have yet to run it here on this drive.
And you've got Ezekiel Love in your backfield. It really is blowing my mind. I figured we would see them be a little bit more productive with the clock management here and just try to let some seconds tick away, but no.
Now they have to throw, and this time they will connect. Michael Knight again with the reception, and he comes through again for Portland.
They call him Mr. Clutch. I mean, that's really all that you can say. Every time his number's been called today, he's come up with a big-time play, and that was one of the biggest, simply because had they came up with anything less or an incompletion, that clock would have stopped, and Las Vegas would have been sitting really pretty.
1st and 10 from the Las Vegas side of midfield. Pitch play to Love, near side. Love will gain 1. Max Jackson on the stop, and now the clock will run, as they'll have to call at least one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, definitely. And you're at this point in the game here where a first down can change the entire outcome of it. It could almost end it, honestly, if they can come up with another conversion here.
Well, if they pick up the conversion before the 2-minute warning, they'll have to probably pick up yet another one. Handoff, Love left side, picking and choosing his way. Decides to follow his blocker, and he gets one before Mike Jones can make the tackle. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning here in a tightly contested ball game in Portland. 35-29. Portland with the ball. Can they get a first down? Can Vegas hold them? You're watching the SFL Saturday Night Football on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. Third down and 8. 2 minutes to go. Portland looking to get back to 500. Handoff, Love. Out of one, looking to stretch the pile. He is taken down. Short, they'll say. At the 42. Timeout called by Portland.
Oh my goodness, what a really possibly even a game-saving tackle right there. That was, and you got to expect him to line up and try to go for it here. Yeah, I figured kind of. They feel like
38-yard line. Massive fourth down coming up for the Portland offense and Vegas defense. This for potentially the ball game. Vegas easily lets away Love, and Love continues to rumble inside the 25-yard line. It's a first down, and that might be the final nail in Vegas's coffin.
I just had this feeling, Tyler, that they may go that route. They're certainly feeling good, and honestly, this offensive line and the work that they have done today, not surprised that they decided to go a little bit bold there and take a chance, especially on 4th and inches.
Start with a run. Love looking for the first down. He is going to force his way through Max Jackson. Portland call their third and final timeout, or Las Vegas, call their third and final timeout. And that should just about do it. Portland are going to come out of this ball game with the victory in a pretty hard-fought contest all the way through. There's the first of a few kneel downs here for Portland, but partner Cameron Duty, what a weekend of football, and we're only halfway through.
I really can't wait to see what tomorrow has in store. Like you said, this Saturday slate has been wonderful. We saw some great action for 5 weeks here in this SFL. It truly has been a season to remember, and I can't wait to see what's up ahead. Great teams with so many star players. I mean, the future is bright, and this right here, this game, a good example of really just how these things can come down to the wire.
And speaking of tomorrow, another SFL Sunday doubleheader kicks off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern in Atlanta, where the winless Swarm try to slow down Ike McBride and the Carolina Skyhawks. Later, Southern and Western rivals square off when Fort Worth faces Houston and San Diego heads to Denver. It's all happening live tomorrow night on SFL YouTube, as Cyrus Jive lines up one more time in the most favorite formation and play in all of football. He will take a third and final knee whenever he decides to do it. 5 Canadian super chat from Mark Lopez. What an evening of SFL games. Good games to everyone, and especially to Portland. For the owner of Portland, Mr. Jacob Bouvette, him and his family recently lost their house in Hurricane Hillary. This is a ray of sunshine, a golden silver lining for him and his family, and for Portland as well. They're back to 500 with the victory, 35-29 over the Fleet in a fantastic ball game.
It was, Tyler. It was a fantastic ball game. It was a privilege to call the game with you, and I tell you, it has been a fun contest. You know, the missed field goal by Las Vegas, and then you think about the touchdown, the guaranteed touchdown that was dropped there in the end zone. Those two plays loom large, and that was the big difference for Las Vegas. Had it not been for that, this could have been a totally different ballgame. Instead, Portland, relentless. You saw great plays offensively, defensively, and special teams. Obviously, give it up to quarterback Jive with a fantastic game today, over 200 yards. Ezekiel Love carrying the mail and just doing all the things that they needed to do to secure this win. They took advantage of the mistakes that Las Vegas left out there on the field. And in the end, I'm going to go with Love as my player of the game.
I tend to agree with you. 3 total touchdowns tonight. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. And quick programming note, it wasn't Hurricane Hillary. Washington wildfires for Jacob Vets. There's a lot of tragedies going on in the world today. But everyone can use a lot of hope. And Portland now has hope. They're back to 2-2. From a partner camera duty for Ron Haynes and Damon Simeon and the SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. More games tomorrow and Monday. We'll see you then. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.